Good morning, everybody. A new day is dawning before me here. Still at my same campsite. I love it here. I'm going to break down my camp. It's a really calm morning. I have the swans. The swans have been out. They're swimming around. You might see them in this video. I'm not sure if it'll pick them up. But today I'm going to start filming more of my routines living homeless. So I'm just going to break down camp. I'm sleeping near a graveyard, so I leave my water out beside the tent because I'm afraid of ghosts. I don't know whether or not ghosts exist, but they say if you keep ghosts can't cross a body of water. So I don't know, it's ridiculous, but I haven't seen any ghosts. I've been trying to get some video of the beavers. But they come out at night. I don't see them during the day, and I can't film them in the dark. But there's a whole family of them. So I sleep with everything inside my tent. This is my little pink blanket. A kitten came in this blanket. It was a kitten that me and one of my ex-girlfriends got. And it's just been really useful. I use it as a pillow, blanket, whatever. This is my little inflatable. I notice some homeless people use these so you're not sleeping on the ground. You just blow it up. I deflated it. All right, make sure I didn't leave anything in there. So this tent's pretty cool. Got it off Amazon. It's a 4-season tent. Moisture gets on stuff in the morning, so I try to get as much of it off as I can. Oh, hey, let me just make sure that this is filming. Yes, it is. These things are pretty easy to put together. I put it together in the dark. There's good light over here, so at night, so it's pretty easy to put together. Just pop these little clips off. So there's many levels to this project. And I think one important aspect is the biological aspect of it. You know, people haven't always lived as comfortably as they have, and our genes are designed to help us survive in the wilderness. So just seeing what a year of living homeless outside will do to not only my body but my mind is a big component of this. I think a lot of the diseases that we see in society today come about from sedentary living. People are like the only animals that put themselves in a cage. We've domesticated ourselves, which I guess is an entirely bad thing. But a lot's to be said about finding health and connection with nature and our history. I can say that since I've started this project, I've really enjoyed it. I found a lot of peace, intrigue, and I just learned a lot about myself. One thing I've been noticing is homelessness isn't really something that's socially accepted. I ate the dinner last night and I saw a lady I used to volunteer with. She had asked me what I had been up to, and I told her I was homeless, and she was like, "Oh." I could tell it's like a concerning thing to think about for her. I guess on some level, people should be housed, shouldn't be homeless, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that have gotten accustomed to the lifestyle and it's what they know and they feel comfortable living that way. So the question is what's so wrong about it? This country was started by frontiers people. Come on, who hasn't played Oregon Trail in school? And what I've noticed and what I feel is like there's a certain level of humiliation or shame around being homeless. It's kind of like socially. But like living this way, what I found is there's also a good side to it. There's a feeling of freedom and liberation. Not having to follow societal norms or you don't have to put on a fake face to make other people like you or be accepted. Some people really like to do what everybody else does. Me personally, I don't. And I found this new freedom being able to live how I want to and speak my mind without fear of repercussion, like losing my job or being judged. People talking about you behind your back, assassinating your character or socially ostracizing you. That seems to be the way in society. Do as we say, or, we're not going to fucking accept you. And that's just not cool. I've been really thinking a lot about my beaver friends. And I was impressed. There's like a family of them. It's got to be a family. Because when I see them, I see their fat little plump bodies skimming around and floating around, and at night they come up pretty close sometimes. And they live a really good life. And they're smart. They have a lot of ingenuity. They build dams and make their little homes. And I guess in one sense I'm a little bit envious. Because it seems like a real simple, enjoyable existence. But it makes me think about where people differ a little bit from other animals. I'm like, there's a lot of similarities. Like, animals obviously think on some level, and, brains and bodies operate kind of similar ways. But people not only are able to understand the laws and rules of nature and manipulate the laws and rules of nature, but we can transcend the laws of nature in our imagination. Our imagination, that part of our minds, gives us the ability to change the environment, to create things that nature would never ever think to create. And also create things that could never ever exist in nature. So with all this creative power, why do so many people in society suffer? So another idea came to me. I woke up this morning. I have a few defensive weapons. I don't tell anybody what they are, just in case somebody ever tries to come out here and test me. But I keep them next to me at all times. I always have it with me, just in case of an emergency or something. It's nothing too extreme. I don't have anything dangerous, but just enough to protect me. I don't even carry a knife because knives are illegal in Massachusetts. And if any law enforcement person really wanted to bust my balls, they could arrest me for having a knife that's longer than 1.5 inches. But yeah, so there's that. But I was waking up this morning and I was reaching around to grab my weapons, and I thought to myself, how much joy and security just in having the few simple, small things that I have. And then I started thinking about how people have gone from living off the land, however many 10,000, 15,000 years ago. We were mostly tribal peoples. We weren't even farmers until about 10,000 years ago, really, to where we are today. And I can see where, like, that simple process of thought of the joy in having can become addictive and accelerate to the point where greed and cravings spiral out of control, and we just end up building things to extreme level. As if to say our craving for acquisition is born out of this need for survival, this joy in survival. And that was a humbling thought. All right, so this one here, I battle with this. I'll put this in here. It's just like, get the zipper going. So I met a man last night. Said he's been homeless for a few days, and he had some pretty crazy stories. I'm going to meet up with him at 9 a.m. and maybe get an interview and see if I can help get him into a shelter or something. He didn't really seem too equipped for homelessness, I'll tell you that. He was at the dinner. I think he'd had a few drinks and he was really talkative. My friend Vicky said he hadn't talked. She was trying to get him to talk, so last night was a shining moment. So the tent gets wet. One thing I don't like about that is when my gear gets wet, I carry it with me. It makes my stuff that much heavier. This is also a struggle. So this thing is Subzero sleeping bag. And it's got fluff in it, and as soon as you pull it out of the bag, it like sucks up air and just puffs right out. I guess like the heat from our body warms up the fluffs and the air inside of it, and it keeps you warm. The only problem with that is when I got stuff into this little bag, it's like stuffing silly string back into the bottle. All right. Come on. Gotta get aggressive with it. Get in there. Yeah, I don't know why those who choose to be homeless wouldn't have a little bit more appreciation from society. Singing about that song this morning, and I'm a terrible singer, but I'll try my best here. That song is that song. Where are all the cowboys? Where have all the cowboys gone? Do 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 do. Where are my prairie son? You know, all the cowboys and desperados and people that were living on the outskirts of society. That is now not cool and frowned upon. So my opinion is that people that are living a hard life of being homeless and they don't want to cycle through the shelter system, which provides a lot to get people on their feet to live like respectable citizens. But it's an uncomfortable feeling, and there's a lot of conflict. Like the homeless people that I've met that don't want to live in that type of environment talk about having conflicts with different staff members all the time. And they don't like being told what to do. You know, they want to do what they want to do. So because of that, they're punished. And, you know, with all this liberalism, I think a lot of it's a fucking farce. And everybody puts on a show. One of the biggest things like that I've seen just from experience of this, or the biggest lies, is that people that use dangerous narcotics should be allowed to just use those narcotics right out in the open in the street. Like, whose idea was that? That's a brilliant idea. There should be interventions for that, even if it's a mild punishment or something. But, you know, being told that you can't do that, and then having to go to some treatment, maybe a little bit of jail time, to keep people from doing that out in the open streets to the point where they're dying and they have sores all over their body, just makes sense to me. And then you got all these people fighting, saying that, no, you got to let them do that. That's just plain wrong. I haven't really enjoyed seeing that. I don't think that should happen. And now, like, another big thing I've been seeing is they call them safe consumption sites, where people can go and use, you know, fentanyl and other drugs safely, which I'm not saying I'm for or against, but if people are going to be using these drugs, at least give them a drug of a higher caliber. Like, this fentanyl is garbage. It's synthetically produced by drug cartels. It's extremely toxic, causes sores and boils all over people's bodies. It has xylazine and other nasty chemicals in it. You know, so there's no safe with that. You know, if you're going to let people use these drugs, why don't you just give them heroin or something? Poppy-derived heroin. But I digress. But I guess the point is this, is all the people watching your tax dollars are fronting the bill. You're paying the state money so they can willfully allow people to kill themselves without intervening in any way. It's not humane, it's just cruel. And that's where I'm at. And I'm saying this because this wasn't my thought before, but after seeing it firsthand, time and time again, out in Boston, I've decided that is not a wise decision. So, yeah, that's just my thought. Shame on you. Shame on you, policymakers. Oh, let me see if my swan friends are... Oh, there they are. They're over there. I don't know if the camera can catch them right now. But what I'll do is I'll sneak up behind the camera and I'll give you all a sneak peek before I close out. Stuffing these stuffing stuff. All right. And then there you have it. That is a fully packed, freshly packed pack. All right, let's see if I can get you the swans. Good morning, swans. I saw them last night. And I was wondering if they might have been ghosts floating on the water, but they weren't. They were swans. And then there they are. My 3 lucky swans. So that concludes our morning's camp breakdown with Marshall. And I wish you all a wonderful day.